The following is a Mid-Atlantic Sports special presentation.
Welcome to the Carolina Sports Arena. Welcome to CWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling.
And welcome to the conclusion of the Summer Action Series. Tonight, a very special night as the stage is set and the stars are here, including Mid-Atlantic Television Champion Brass Monkey, the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions Tank Lawson, and the first man to ever win the CWF Triple Crown, the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion Boogie Woogie Man Rob McBride. You'll see Sheik Cornelius J. Lumpkin III's Army take on Mid-Atlantic legends Don and Rocky Kernodle. They are two of the greatest, and tonight they wrestle for one of the greatest prizes of all. Fasten your seatbelts because the AWA World Light Heavyweight Championship is on the line as Crazy K Kirby Mack defends the title against the Kamakazi Kid. Every professional sport has a trophy that symbolizes greatness. Football has the Lombardi Trophy. Hockey has the Stanley Cup. Here in the Mid-Atlantic, greatness is defined within the Johnny Weaver Cup. Johnny Weaver, the master of the Weaver Lock, and one of the true Mid-Atlantic legends whose legacy is not only represented in the trophy itself, but in the spirit of all four finalists here tonight. The Gemini Kid, the technical wizard, bridging the generation gap. This 20-year veteran represents the greatness of the days of yesteryear and an undying love for the future of this great sport. Mitch Connor, fresh off a championship loss, this very handsome man from Milwaukee has his greatest individual achievement within arm's reach. But can he mentally recoup from last week's devastating defeat to hoist the trophy high tonight? Joey Sylvia, ruthless, heartless, but incredibly talented. The only competitor in the Final Four to have never held championship gold has something extra to prove. Held by some as the greatest pure athlete in modern Mid-Atlantic history, can Sylvia finally silence all the doubters and critics of past failures and take home the third annual Weaver Cup? Jesse Ortega, intensity defined, and the 2005 Weaver Cup champion. He is just 2 victories away from becoming the first ever repeat winner. Trained by the Gemini Kid himself, Ortega has accomplished so much in his 3 short years as a pro, he can cement his name in Mid-Atlantic lore with just 2 more wins. 2 more wins is all it will take for any of the 4 men, but only one will leave tonight with the honor of their name being engraved as the 2006 Johnny Weaver Cup winner. Welcome to the Carolina Sports Arena in Burlington, North Carolina. Grant Sawyer along with Randolph Hedrick kicking off 6-man action.
And we've got it in the ring right now. As you see, Dexter Poindexter being taken down by Mr. Elite Jake Manning. Poindexter fighting back, runs right into a back elbow of Mr. Elite.
Yeah, the tag teams here, Jake Manning alongside Thomas Simpson's duo of Oscar and Sony Hooker against Dexter Poindexter, classic Chris Collins and Lee Valiant.
Yeah, and Poindexter needs to get over to his corner and make a tag one of the guys in. But right now, he's still fighting back, showing a lot of heart. I think Dexter Poindexter is an enigma in the Mid-Atlantic. I mean, he's almost like something from the past.
Well, Dexter believes he's Superman, that's for sure. And Dexter swinging neck breaker on Stoney.
That's right. Dexter needs to get back over to his corner, make a tag. And I mean, he's got 2 of the best standing over here, 2 of the young lions in the Mid-Atlantic, both champing at the bit to get in this match.
Yeah, they've had a great outing so far in this one. Dexter now making the tag to the youngster Lee Valiant. This kid may not be very big, but how impressive has this kid been here recently? Incredible athleticism.
Yeah, we've discovered Lee Valiant can fly, and we may be getting ready to see a little of it if the ring clears out. To give him there it is.
There's that drop kick. There's that dropkick. God, I love that thing.
I tell you what, he's got Mr. Elite over here in the corner now. Osgard making his way in, holding up Chris Collins. Oh my goodness, Osgard getting nailed by his own tag team partner.
Now, Stoney tossing Chris Collins to the outside as this one's completely broken down. Jake Manning hits the corner. Here comes Lee Valiant. Series of kicks. Enziguri. Oh, Jake Manning.
Manning is down. Referee nowhere to be found. Look at this, Thomas Simpson.
Thomas Simpson is in the ring with that kendo stick straight across the back of Lee Valiant. And you can already see the welts coming up on the back of Lee Valiant.
What a travesty. This can't happen like this. Thomas Simpson has no business in the ring. Where is our referee?
Brandon Barber paying more attention to the outside. Now Jake Manning with the cover and the win in this six-man contest.
Talk about larceny. This was stolen.
Johnny, it's always a pleasure, sir.
It's always a pleasure to be here. I got to see a lot of people doing this about some old times, even back in the High Point days of Greensboro. I'm always proud to be here. But I want to tell them this is Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. It's wrestling like we did, and it is a family entertainment. Now, I know you want to get on and see the Cup and the four finalists. I know they've had a hard road to get here. I had a hard road when I was growing up, but I'm proud to have the Cup in my name, and it's time to start getting in the ring and wrestle.
Well, yes, Johnny, it is in your name, that cup right there, ladies and gentlemen. There is nobody else I would rather have on that cup than your name right here. Johnny Weaver, thank you very much. He will be presenting the cup to the winner of this year's tournament. Let's hear it one more time. This man from Minnesota's neighborhood, the Weaver Lock, right here.
I'm from Milwaukee. But I got the magazines, I read Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and I followed Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. I read about the Johnny Weavers and the Ric Flairs and the Rick Steamboats. And see, I already knew I was going to be a wrestler. But when I read about this area here, the Carolinas, I realized someday I'm going to own all that. I'm headed down south, and I'm going to control everything down there. They'll be chanting my name and my name only. A couple of decades later, I finally made it down here, and I didn't know much about Mid-Atlantic 2006. I know you folks like to marry your cousins. Exhibit A. The only other thing I knew was Gemini Kid. Everyone kept telling me, for the last couple decades, you want to get to the top in Mid-Atlantic, you got to go through the Gemini Kid. And I was all hyped about coming down here and climbing that mountain. All I heard, he's so great, Gemini. Well, I've been here a year and a half and I haven't seen it. I've seen a broken down old man. On a few occasions I've seen him in the ring. I've seen him get his you-know-what handed to him by the likes of Michael McAllister. I haven't seen the respect I expected to see. I hear the boys in the back snicker and say, Jor-El Kid. See, the truth is this, Gemini Kid, you're not a kid anymore. And this sport in 2006 doesn't have any more use for you than it does for Johnny Weaver. Tonight I'm going to do what I knew I was going to do 20 years ago. I'm taking over the Mid-Atlantic area, winning the Weaver Cup, and ushering in a new era, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, Milwaukee style.
We have
have reached the semifinals of the prestigious 2006 Johnny Weaver Cup tournament. And I think this could be the best pure wrestling match of the entire tournament so far, possibly in the entire 3-year history of the tournament.
Well, I mean, it started off with a dance by Mitch Connor. The Gemini Kid, the veteran, the trainer here at CWF Mid-Atlantic.
I think a lot of times Mitch Connor doesn't truly utilize the scientific ability that he has because he's been teaming with Gary Stevens so much, and that's such an unusual combination anyway. Any form of scientific wrestling pretty much just got thrown out the window. But in a matchup like the Gemini Kid, I think Mitch Connor actually, I don't think he can out-wrestle Gemini Kid, but I think he has as good of a chance as anyone at it.
Well, yeah, you're talking about how the techniques are done, you know, how you learn this sport. Talk to Mitch Connor sometime. Ask him the name of any particular move that he uses, and it sounds like something a school kid would make up.
Yeah, Mitch Connor does have an unusual array of names, whether it be the Milwaukee Vice, the MC Hammer, or take your pick.
Or the karate thing.
Yeah, the bow to your sensei.
Yeah, I tell you what, Mitch Connor looked like he's trying to get fired up here. He's got the wrist of Gemini, still working him over. Gemini looking for an opening here, trying to find a place to reverse, and he does.
Mitch Connor, a former Mid-Atlantic television champion, of course now a former Mid-Atlantic tag team champion. He's one step away from a triple crown, and while he may not be competing for the heavyweight title tonight, I'd say the Weaver Cup trophy would be a pretty good triple crown on the resume.
Well, it definitely looked good. It would get you in the eyes of a lot of other areas throughout the AWA. But right now, Connor cranking on the head of Gemini Kid as he lips off to the crowd. You know, this is something else we keep seeing more and more.
I'm sure Mitch Connor wants to show off a little bit more tonight than even normal because Johnny Weaver is just on the other side of the curtain watching and evaluating each and every match in this entire tournament.
And you know, Johnny Weaver in the past, you know, the 2005 Weaver Cup final, he actually became involved after the bout. And I mean, Connor's got to be thinking about that too. He's not going to be able to pull too much knowing Weaver's watching from backstage.
Series of hip toss, arm drag by Gemini Kid, going right back to work on the left arm of Mitch Connor, and I wonder if Gemini Kid has found his spot to go to town on.
I tell you what, right now, Mitch Connor flat in the back, in the middle of the AWA logo in the center of the ring. That's not where he wants to be. He needs to be on his feet. Big stiff uppercut to the midsection, rolls with a big fireman carry up and over. Gemini is down. He's reversed his fortunes here.
Of course, Gemini Kid is a 20-plus year veteran at the squared circle, trained by some of the greats like the Kernodles, Nelson Royal. Gemini Kid, he's never held the heavyweight title. He's been a former tag team champion. He certainly had his fair share of success from time and again, but without question, the Johnny Weaver Cup would be easily the biggest prize in the entire career of the Gemini Kid.
You know, that's the first time in the 5+ years we've been doing these telecasts that we've actually able to bring up the name of the late great that taught Gemini. I mean, it goes back so much. I mean, known throughout the Carolinas, throughout the world as a light heavyweight champion. Nelson Royal has trained so many of the greats.
Well, on the other end of the spectrum, Mitch Connor just completely disrespected Gemini Kid by throwing that water ball at him. And Gemini Kid, he got the blood boiling all right. Now a slugfest. Throw the wrestling out the window because it's a fight now between Mitch Connor and Gemini Kid.
Oh my goodness, Kid gets rammed straight back first into that unforgiving steel ring post. Boot to the back by Connor. Now Connor's going to roll in and break the referee's count.
Charles Richardson trying to get everyone back in line here. Mitch Connor back in the ring, but you know, that may have been smart wrestling on the behalf of Mitch Connor. He was being out-wrestled inside the ring by Gemini Kid. He took the contest outside the ring, and that's where Mitch Connor began his advantage.
Yeah, Mitch Connor showing off with a few karate moves, but I mean, they're not making contact. It's more for show, I'm sure. But I mean, look at this. He's got Gemini face first into the apron. I thought he was going to drive him back into the ring. Finally rolls Gemini back into the ring, which may be a mistake on his part.
Yeah, but he's finally got Gemini Kid incapacitated to some degree at least. Now, if Mitch Connor can follow up at it all, Mitch Connor could be looking at a spot in the finals.
And that's right. Mitch Connor dropping the elbow to the back of the neck of Gemini Kid. Rolls him up and over into a pinning predicament. Gemini able to kick out on a 2 count, and Connor's complaining to the referee.
Well, Mitch Connor has absolutely nothing to complain about there. That's our senior official, Charles Richardson. He may not always be right on top of things, but he certainly was with that particular count.
Yeah, smiling Charles Richardson, our senior official. He's looking on as Gemini Kid's getting a complimentary chiropractic adjustment courtesy of handsome Mitch Connor Chiropractic Center in Burlington, North Carolina.
Vice-like grip around the head and the neck of Gemini Kid trying to wrench away, but see Gemini positioning those arms, and just like that takes Mitch Connor down onto his stomach, and now STF! He's going for the STF! We got a tap out right here, Randolph!
Oh my goodness, Connor did not see that coming. He's struggling for the ropes. I'm not sure he's going to make it. Pulling himself over by his elbows, and Gemini just keeps cranking away.
The simplest of reversals puts Mitch Connor in a very precarious position to which he may have no choice but to tap out if he can't reach the ropes.
See what, he's inches away from the ropes right now. Finally able to get his hands on Gemini Kid. He probably worked the 4 count on this one. No, he broke out one on the 1.
Mitch Connor just saved himself. You know, when Gemini Kid applied that hold, he was pretty close to the ropes. But what brilliant wrestling by Gemini Kid.
Gemini Kid once again in control. Connor begging off down on the canvas. Elbow to the instep there. That is going to leave a mark and take away from the mobility of Connor for later on in this match.
Gemini Kid has recovered from the miniature onslaught that Mitch Connor put him under. And now Gemini Kid going to work on the left leg of Mitch Connor this time.
That's right. Gemini's trying to fight and keep this one on top. And look at this. Thumb to the eye by Connor, the savior for some of these wrestlers. It's just disheartening. I wish there was some way you could shield yourself against that, but, I mean, this is wrestling. You can't.
Well, it would certainly be at least nice to have some kind of cutoff where after, say, 3 eye pokes, it is an automatic disqualification. But, of course, there's a lot of political avenues that need to be undergone to even try to institute something like that.
That's right. Look at this. We're back, both men back down to a sitting position. Gemini trying to fight his way out of this. I'm not sure exactly what Connor is doing here, but he's got Gemini tied up down here on the canvas.
Well, it's almost like a sitting version of this Milwaukee Vice, the way he has the arms and hands locked there, but Gemini Kid fighting it, not letting Mitch Connor completely intertwine the fingers, and now Gemini Kid simply goes right back to the leg.
That's right, Mitch Connor is down. I mean, referee's down for a count. Both shoulder blades are down, and here we go, another eye poke. I tell you, it's tragic. I wish there was some way we could do away with that. I mean, we've already seen a lot of wrestling in this match. I would love to see this remain a wrestling match.
Now, Mitch Connor, I have to give it to him for trying to wrestle one-on-one with Gemini in the early going. He tried it, and like so many have done in the past, he failed because you simply can't out-wrestle the Gemini Kid.
And Gemini Kid trying to make his way back to his feet. Connor smartly not letting him up.
Yeah, but the wincing in pain now, limping around. The simple maneuvers of the Gemini Kid have taken a lot of toll on the body of a very handsome man.
And Connor is down. Gemini first back up to his feet. But then it's Connor with a big overhand. Connects again with a forearm and a chop. Gemini on rubber legs again.
Mitch Connor unloading on Gemini Kid, but now Gemini Kid can fight now.
Gemini Kid needs to get fired up here because he's taking a beating back to the corner. And look at this. Connor's going to try to wrestle again.
Snap suplex by Mitch Connor, taking Gemini Kid down center of the ring, but Mitch Connor unable to follow up on it, going right back to the leg.
Yeah, Connor's got some kind of damage done to that knee, but he's over for the cover. Hooks the leg, referee's down only a 2 count, and Connor is in so much pain he's not even arguing with Richardson.
Gemini Kid slowly getting up himself. Mitch Connor meeting him, series of elbows across the back of the head and neck.
Oh my goodness, big shot to the face. He backs Gemini into the corner. Another shot straight to the face. And a third, I mean, for good measure. Connor's setting him up, slings him across the ropes, and here he comes.
Oh, there it was. That was the MC Hammer right there, Randolph.
Oh my goodness, shades of Manny Fernandez. I know I've seen that somewhere before, but I don't see how we get an 80s disco phenom's name attached to it.
Making the cover and only a 2 count.
And I tell you what, Connor needs to change up here. He's got Gemini Kid reeling. He could be going into the final here, but Gemini not giving up. I mean, he's back on his feet again and absorbing the punishment, it looks like.
You stuck me with the visual now of MC Hammer doing disco. No one home for the MC Hammer this time, but Gemini Kid unloads with a roaring elbow of his own.
That came out of nowhere. Connor didn't see it coming. It was just like a shot out of nowhere. He is down, barely able to kick out before the 3 count.
That roaring elbow, a la Mitsuharu Misawa, and Mitch Connor driving the top of his skull into the jaw of Gemini.
Are you doing tongue twisters over there? What did you just say?
Gemini Kid loves all forms of professional wrestling, including the Puro style in Japan. He's administered the Tiger Driver so many times, but now the King Cobra on Mitch Connor. King Cobra, Gemini Kid reaching back with the King Cobra, reverses all the way around, and Mitch Connor is going to have no choice but to tap out.
Connor taps. This one's over. Gemini Kid goes to the finals.
Gemini Kid, 20-year-plus veteran, battle-worn body and all, will advance to the finals of the 2006 Weaver Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first finalist for the 2006 Johnny Weaver Invitational Tournament. In 13 minutes, 10 seconds, last
Say something, Sylvia! Jesse Ortega looks to join his trainer, the Gemini Kid, in the finals of the Weaver Cup as one heck of an opposition. On the way there, Joey Sylvia of the New Dynasty.
And Joey Sylvia, as we've documented so much over the past few months, he don't travel alone. You see other members of the New Dynasty liable to be out here. I see Steve Green at ringside right now.
Although Sylvia a lot of times is more than happy to use his teammates to his advantage. That's exactly what he's doing now, hauling across the ring.
And that's right, and Sylvia waiting in the ring for El Fuego. Ortega makes his way back in the ring. And look at this, he reverses on Sylvia. Sylvia face down on the canvas again. Big slap across the face.
Ortega slaps the taste right out of the mouth of Joey Sylvia and spinal tap.
Oh my goodness, the look of pain on the face. Big chop to the chest. Sylvia back down to the canvas.
As I've mentioned before, and I love to point out so much, Joey Sylvia has never won any major anything, whether it be a title, whether it be a Rumble, whether it be a Weaver Cup. Joey Sylvia has become the biggest choke artist in the entire history of CWF Mid-Atlantic, but he can right all the wrongs of the past here tonight by winning the 2006 edition of the Weaver Cup.
Well, you know, he was one of the favorites when we started into this, a bit undersized compared to some of the other competitors, but his ability is unlimited. I'm not so sure why he does what he does, why he aligns himself with who he does, why he doesn't try to do this on ability alone, except for the fact maybe all the years he's tried, he's not been able to succeed.
You're exactly right. I mean, his athletic ability, second to none. You can't argue with that. He's almost a phenom with his God-given ability. But with Trent Wild and Steve Green at ringside, that is what's led him to what victories he has gained in 2006.
That's right. And right now you see both men pacing on the outside of the ring as Sylvia goes for a cover, and oh my goodness.
Ortega, legs laced around the head of Sylvia, spinning around head scissor.
And Sylvia holding the head. And look at this, going right for the arm, going to soften that thing up again. And look at this, Ortega thrown out of the ropes.
Ortega crashes very unceremoniously to the outside and right at the feet of the New Dynasty as Sylvia, just like we saw him do in his quarterfinal match with the Osiris, complained to official Red Jones that something's wrong with the arm.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know what that was, but whatever it is, Steve Green is getting fed something on the outside of the ring by Ortega. Oh my goodness, flying kick through the ropes by Sylvia.
Sylvia just went aerial straight through the middle ropes, right into the face of Ortega.
I don't know what they were fighting with then or what in the world. It looked like Green come out to the ringside area with something that he was trying to put in the face of Ortega. Ortega reversed it and actually stuffed it in the face of Green. Now Green getting a boot in for extra measure, but it opened up the opportunity for Sylvia to come through the ropes.
Yeah, there's absolutely no telling what in the world that was the New Dynasty had. They'll stoop to any lengths to try and gain a win for any of their members, and now Sylvia rolling Ortega back in the ring.
Ortega, as long as he's breathing, he's a dangerous man. And I say breathing, and what do we got? A choke hold straight across the throat by Sylvia. The referee counts. Sylvia don't break into the floor. I mean, it's smart, but it's not legal.
Exactly right. And now Sylvia, thanks to the advantage the New Dynasty has given them, measuring Jesse Ortega, big chop, and now looking to set him up, shoot off the ropes. Ortega ducks one clothesline, springboard, catches arm, lucha style.
Oh my goodness, back to the arm. Look at this, going for the Fujiwara. And once again, Sylvia very close to the ropes. That bottom rope, his best friend right now.
Ortega has employed the Fujiwara armbar so much in the few years he has been a professional wrestler. He has won many, many matches with the Fujiwara armbar.
And right now, he is taking the boots to the skull, courtesy of Joey Sylvia, who's trying to advance to the final of the 2006 Johnny Weaver Invitational Tournament. And I'll tell you, he could make history tonight. You know, he could break the jinx, but he's got to get through Ortega for a shot at Gemini Kid in the cup.
That's exactly right. Gemini Kid, all those years of wrestling have finally led to something great, and that great isn't a spot of the finals of the 2006 Weaver Cup. One of these men will meet him. It'll be a tremendous contest either way. I mean, you've got teacher versus student on one side, and the tradition versus the insane ego of the new school, Joey Sylvia and the New Dynasty on the other side.
And you got to wonder about the motives of all of these men on the New Dynasty. Look at this, wrestling, a roll up to a small package by Jesse Ortega out of nowhere.
Oh, and Sylvia came right back. Big clothesline through Ortega.
What a violent shot by Sylvia. Ortega is down, holding on to the ropes, trying to find his way back to his feet. Sylvia back up first, got control of this match.
Sylvia now hooking the head of Jesse Ortega, places him alongside the top rope, and now Sylvia kick right underneath the jaw of Ortega.
Ortega crumples down to the apron. I mean, he's not made it down to the floor, which is lucky for him considering you've got this New Dynasty goons running around the outside of the ring here. Sylvia brings him back in, and Ortega unloads with a shot to the midsection and straight to the face. Now they're exchanging them.
Exchanging haymakers as Sylvia and Ortega, like they've done so many times in the past.
And it looks like Sylvia has got Ortega down. He's coming outside, stepping through the ropes, mouthing off to the crowd. And you got to watch Joy. He will use those ropes.
Sylvia flies, but he flew right into the outstretched knees of Jesse Ortega, who almost had him in a bow and arrow-like submission.
And only the ropes saved Sylvia again from what could have been the end of this match. Heads up wrestling by Ortega. Ortega open to the ropes, and Sylvia ducks under.
Ducks under, almost caught him with an ankle lock, I thought, on the way down. And now Sylvia repositioning himself, hooking the arms of Jesse Ortega into a submission maneuver. Jesse Ortega has the submission move applied on him.
And I tell you what, this is what we keep talking about over and over, is the God-given ability of Joy Sylvia. You see him do things like this. Why does he need the goofs on the outside?
Oh, Ortega though rolls through. Almost pinned Sylvia, or I should say Sylvia almost pinned himself.
And I tell you what, Sylvia a little angry about this.
Big exploder.
Oh man, he picked him up and dropped him hard. Ortega's holding the back, trying to figure out where he's at. Sylvia goes over for the cover. 2 count, almost a 3 count.
Sylvia possibly getting a little bit frustrated, not being able to put El Fuego away in this one. And plus, how much is the previous quarterfinal matchup against Osiris taken out of Joey Sylvia? I almost want to say Sylvia's moving a step slower today than he was in the last round of the tournament.
And you got to look at this. Sylvia going to attack the arm of Ortega. Looks like he was setting up for a Fujiwara of his arm, but Ortega having nothing to do with it.
Ortega now with the cover on Sylvia, and only a 2.
Sylvia, he's able to kick out of that one. I don't know where it's coming from. Both these men looking a little weary at this point, but they are beating the fire out of each other.
Sylvia slumped back into the corner, trying to gain some kind of breather. Ortega has him hooked from behind. Oh, Sylvia landing on his feet, or this one may have been over. Now Sylvia with Ortega. Ortega reverses it. Ortega could be PhD, but no. Sylvia slips from behind, and Sylvia now going for his own Fujiwara.
I'll tell you what, Sylvia showing out here, able to reverse some things. Look at this. Ortega able to grab the foot, but he couldn't stop that second one. Ortega's down.
Big Enziguri with the cover, and Ortega's out.
I'll tell you what, George Sylvia's got to be thinking right now, what do I do to get my partners in here to help me win so I can go on to get beat up by Gemini Kid in the final?
That's exactly right. Sylvia getting frustrated, tearing the wrist tape off, but that's sure not going to pin the shoulders of Jesse Ortega. Sylvia taking it right back to the face of El Fuego.
El Fuego is staggering backwards. Oh, big uppercut, and El Fuego's flat on the logo in the middle of the ring, still fighting his way back up. Sylvia's waiting for him.
Sylvia's perched and waiting, just like you said. Ortega trying to get his broke wits back about him.
Joey Sylvia just setting the man up, knowing he won this tournament last year. What a feather in his cap. Nobody's home. Fujiwara!
He just springboarded himself into Fujiwara, and Steve Green is up on the apron, making sure Sylvia doesn't tap out.
Oh my goodness, wait a minute. Trent Wild just slid something into the ring. Joey Sylvia got it, I think. Wait a minute. Ortega may have gotten it.
Ortega's got the chain in his hand. Ortega intercepted it while he had Sylvia trapped in the Fujiwara.
And if looks could kill, Trent Wild would have just killed, but he just took the chain square to the jaw and he's gone.
Sylvia, though, waiting on Ortega one more time. He's got Ortega up in his arms. Ortega lands on his own feet. Chain right between the eyes of Joey Sylvia.
Oh my goodness. Referee did not see the chain. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. Ortega advances.
The chain backfires on the new dynasty. And El Fuego, Jesse Ortega, is headed to the finals of the Weaver Cup to meet his very own trainer, the Gemini Kid.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, advancing to the final by pinfall, 31 seconds, Jesse Ortega!
Singles action between the Diamond, KC McKnight, and managed by Sheik Cornelius J. Lumpkin III, it's Hugh B. Bad News Johnson.
Yeah, the larger member of the United Nations of Devastation, who we've been seeing on occasion out here with Lumpkin. We don't see his partner Drake Tungsten at ringside, so maybe this will remain as it's billed a singles match. KC McKnight trying to light up big bad news having nothing to do with it.
Hugh B. Johnson just too big, too strong to shoot across the ropes, but KC a little too fast for him. Big drop kick takes Hugh B. down.
And that's what you got to do, KC. In again with another drop kick. You've got to take a man the size of Hugh B. Johnson off his feet, and that's off the feet and down to the floor.
There are certain athletes over the years that you watch come up in this sport that seemingly get better and better each and every match, and I really think KC McKnight is on one of those runs right now. I mean, it's amazing looking back just 1 year and those initial appearances in CWF, and KC was just so young and so almost underutilized, and how far has this kid come in just 1 year's time?
Well, I mean, talk to KC McKnight, you get a chance to, you'll find out that he is a student of this sport. I mean, it's somewhat of a passion of his, and it shows every time we see him in the ring.
He really takes it back to the old school, the way it used to be. It wasn't about the flair, the substance, how much trash you could talk behind a microphone. KC McKnight brings it inside the squared circle each and every time he steps through those ropes.
Well, they call him the Diamond, and you got to think somewhere the Diamond will shine, and he'll get his hands on a major title somewhere in his career, but right now he's got to handle this monster that's beating him up in the corner.
Yeah, Hugh B. Bad News Johnson is certainly more than proven in this tag team scene that he can get the job done, but we've also seen him in a good number of singles matches over the years. In fact, it was just a couple weeks ago he had a tremendous singles match against Mid-Atlantic television champion Brass Monkey.
Yeah, Hugh B. Johnson, the big bad news man himself, he backs down for no one. And right now, KC Hubie trying to turn this around. Both men collide, both men down. Hubie up quick.
Yeah, Hubie put all his body weight into that elbow, now making the lateral press. Charles Richardson with the count, but Hubie only able to hold the shoulders down for a 2.
Yeah, here he goes. Blatant chokehold, what we see so often the last few months.
Well, Sheik Cornelius J. Lumpkin has certainly done everything in his power to use the money given to him by the United Arab Emirates to pull together this army of sorts between the United Nations of Devastation and some of these other goons he's brought in from other countries.
Well, if they're going to spend the big money, I mean, I know it's the whole us against them thing that he's trying to get started here, but if he wants championships, perhaps he should consider the American-born wrestlers.
Well, right now, the American-born wrestlers certainly have a stranglehold on those titles here in the Mid-Atlantic. Most notably, Rob the Boogie Woogie Man McBride himself, who's not only a Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion, but is also a tag team champion alongside Tank Lawson, someone Cornelius J. Lumpkin used to manage.
Yeah, that was where we first were introduced to Lawson here in CWF Mid-Atlantic, was with Lumpkin at his side, and they had a sort of a strange run there for several months and then started not seeing eye to eye, as you may say.
Hubie Johnson has taken KC McKnight down, but finally KC able to roll out of the way of the big elbow drop that could have possibly ended it for Hubie, and now KC firing back with a series of rights.
Yeah, he's going straight to the face of Hubie. Bad News is up against the ropes, just barely on his feet. Here we go. KC off the ropes. Beautiful.
Beautiful forearm right between the eyes. Takes his larger adversary down, and KC McKnight now pulling Hubie Bad News Johnson back up to a vertical base reversal by Hubie. KC ducks one close by KC off the ropes. Flying leg lariat.
Oh my goodness, we've seen KC off his feet several times tonight. Almost a 3 count. Big man able to kick out barely after the 2.
This is a huge roadblock in the road of the career of KC McKnight. He's going to have to get past Hubie Johnson if he's going to have more title shots somewhere along the road. And Hubie Johnson hanging on the ropes. KC not able to get the sunset flip, but Charles Richardson kicks the arms of Hubie. Have a 2, and only a 2.
And what was Lumpkin doing? Was he trying to hold his man onto the ropes there? Beautiful kick by Hubie Johnson out of nowhere.
Lumpkin was certainly looking to lend a helping hand and then some to his charge. And Hubie Johnson saying this one's going to be over, but KC McKnight has no easy task to put away.
Well, KC looks pretty much out of it right now. And I mean, why don't you just go ahead and cover?
Hubie Johnson pulling a very droggy KC McKnight back up, and now possibly looking to set him up high upon the top rope.
You gotta wonder what in the world's going through the mind of KC McKnight right now. Does he even know where he's at? But here we go. Hubie's gonna follow him up the ropes.
Well, if Hubie Johnson hits anything at all from the top rope with that 300 plus pounds, you better believe it's going to be over. And KC McKnight better become aware real quick of where he is.
Oh my goodness, he's got him up. KC finally trying to fight back.
KC crushes Hubie, lands on top with the leg hook, the 3 count by Charles Richardson, and out of nowhere, KC McKnight, a big win in his career over Hubie Bad News Johnson.
Everybody stand up for Trent Wild.
Look, Mom, I'm important tonight. When I look around and I see Gary Coleman's taller brother Willis, and I see you, your butt slapping 8, and I see you through the seat, and I look over here and I see the other half of the tag team champions. And I noticed that it's 302, but you don't really make a boo to me, because I come there with all 3 of them, and he's there to eat popcorn. And trust me, you don't want me to get in the ring with all 3 of you, because I'll teach you how to swim, and I'll teach you how to make movies, and I'll make you white, boy. That was good stuff, wasn't it? Welcome to the South. So I'm going to move the odds a little bit, because I haven't done this in a long time. So, Randolph, I haven't scratched my monkey here lately. Bring the other half of the gold out.
It's six-man action at the CSA Randolph, and Tank Lawson is giving simply Steve Green a free shot right off the bat.
And it didn't seem to faze him a bit. I mean, Green hit him from behind, and, well, he hit him forward, and Tank's just standing there.
Like running into a brick wall. Tank Lawson is going to run right through you.
Yeah, that's a brick wall that hits back.
One side consisting of 3 champions, a rarity. It's six-man action as Tank Lawson decapitates Steve Green and having a little bit of fun with it. You got the tag team champions of Tank Lawson and Rob McBride. Of course, Rob McBride's also the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion, and their partner, the Mid-Atlantic television champion, Brass Monkey.
And I mean, but what I don't get, this whole new dynasty thing, is their new partner a new member, or what? Are they renting him? What's the deal with this?
Well, Joey Sylvia certainly has other commitments to take care of, and they have been teaming with Marcellus King as of late, and really, in a lot of ways, as Rob McBride hoists Steve Green up a high, you know, Steve Green, Trent Wild, they want the tag team titles. Marcellus King, he wants either the heavyweight or the television title, so he's almost a perfect combination when Joey Sylvia has other business.
Yeah, the television champion finally tagged in, goes straight to the face of his former tag team championship partner, Simply Steve Green, who you may remember as the American Steel Ninja, but whatever you do, don't call him Scuba Steve. But right now, Monkey's having his way with him.
You're exactly right. Brass Monkey and Simply Steve Green, then as the American Steel Ninja, had a tremendous run as tag team champions back in 2003, 2004. But it's been a long time since then. Trent Wild runs straight into the hip toss of Brass Monkey.
And Tank Lawson tagged back in by Monkey. Monkey taking his time. Oh my goodness, Tank hit Trent so hard it knocked his headband off. Put it back on, Tank.
Boy, Tank Lawson is just one of those guys who's in there to have a good time, and right now he's having a good time all over Trent Wild.
It's pretty dangerous when you're that size and you want to have a good time. You got a weight advantage and obviously a strength advantage over almost anyone you step through the ropes against.
But Tank Lawson picked Trent up like he was a feather and powers him down. We say it every time. Tank Lawson, I still don't think he knows how strong he is.
And there we go, another leg drop, a signature move he loves to use to finish a match. A nice easy cover there, but I mean, he saw Green coming in and got out of the way before the 3 count come down.
Well, I think he was almost more mocking the Dynasty with that cover than he was actually trying to win the match, because every time he hits something, he looks right back at Steve Green or Marcellus King just to throw it right in their face.
And the heavyweight champion makes his way in. Rob the Boogie Woogie Man McBride, a major fan favorite here in the Mid-Atlantic area. And what's this?
We got a slingshot right into the arms of Tank Lawson, who powers Trent right back down.
Oh my goodness, and I tell you what, Tank is on top of Wild. Wild just barely breathing here. Nice save by Steve Green, quite athletic on his part.
You know, since they started teaming earlier this year, I don't think I've ever seen the new Dynasty as completely discombobulated as they are in this particular match.
And here we go, another tag back in. The Boogeyman bringing his peoples into the ring with him, having a little fun, stomping on the fingers of Trent Wild.
Rob McBride laying a boogie kiss down on Trent Wild, and Trent Wild very smartly, I don't think I've ever seen that done. Trent Wild headbutted his way out of a boogie kiss, both men down now as a result of it.
Yeah, I question where that move came from as well, but it appears to be quite effective. But Boogie's trying to fire back up on this.
Well, I'm sure it dazed both men. You can tell by Trent Wild, who's already dazed, and that hard skull of Trent pretty much took Boogie down for a momentary count anyways.
That's right, referee Red Jones making the count. Brass Monkey tagged with a flying tag there by the Boogeyman. Brass Monkey cleaning house.
Brass Monkey unloading shots on everyone inside, and of course Tank Lawson has to get a piece of that action as well.
That's right, a spinal tap on Marcellus King by Monkey. Monkey blindsided by Trent Wild.
Steve Green gets slammed by Tank Lawson. Trent Wild catches a boot right in the mush, and now Monkey off the top! Down on top of Trent Wild.
Wild is down, Green is down. My goodness, there's bodies everywhere. Tank Lawson just sort of wandering around looking for somebody to hit. The
Lariato!
Monkey beat him to it.
Big lariat by Brass Monkey, Marcellus King, last minute save.
That's right, here we go. They're starting to stack up like cordwood on the side of the road here. Marcellus King trying to do something. Steve Green trying to get everybody out of the ring.
Backcracker by Brass Monkey on top of Marcellus King.
Setting it up, but look at this. Steve Green able to make a shot on Monkey. Monkey finally back to his feet. These two don't look very happy with each other.
They do not care for one another. Apparently, Steve Green thought one chop was enough, and he's headed out of here.
That's right. Looks like he's going to sail around the ring. Tank Lawson standing tall, got hold of Trent Wild here. This is not good for the Gate City Center.
Take Doug's one clothesline, hoist Trent up, and could be dropping the bomb on him.
And this could be it. Referee out of position.
Referee Red Jones going to the outside. Marcellus King has Brass Monkey tied up and back in the ring. Steel chain.
Green with that ever-present steel chain that the Dynasty 2, this new Dynasty, keeps bringing to the ring. And Green's asking for a cover and the referee's down.
Referee Red Jones making the count. And Steve Green has stolen this one thanks to the help of a steel chain on Tank Lawson.
And he'll still go down as a pinfall victory for this tag team. And I tell you, that's despicable. You hate to see it happen. Bodies still laying everywhere at ringside.
Huge stakes being held aloft by referee Charles Richardson. He's the referee for the AWA World Light Heavyweight title match.
That's right, and your champion, Crazy K, Kirby Mack, already in the ring. Referee's calling for the bell. The challenger, the suicidal Kamakazi Kid.
Boy, these two men know one another so well. They've been on the same team in the past, but you better believe they've had some very memorable matches against one another as well, and I don't expect this one to be any different.
You know, the biggest conflict I see here is which one of these two men are the fans going to cheer for loudest, because, you know, both of these guys are very well loved by the fans here in Burlington, North Carolina.
They are beloved individuals. They are two almost iconic figures here in the Carolina Sports Arena in Burlington. And the first stare-off of the contest, and a friendly hand gesture, as they usually do. And Crazy K, Kirby Mack making a mistake, turning his back on Kazi. Once that handshake's done, you can't ever turn your back, especially in a match of this magnitude.
Well, you know, that was a test right there, and Crazy K failed the test, then again, so did Kazi.
What are you doing?
Trying to win the match. When these two have had battles in the past, there have been handshakes, but that handshake is very short, usually short-lived, which is exactly what we got here tonight. Crazy K ducks one clothesline, Kazi cartwheels over, Kirby ducks one, going for a double forearm smash, the two forearms collide.
Oh my goodness, we could have a broken wrist in an incident like that, but both men still going wide open. Now we're going to see a little bit of a lower body attack by both men.
Well, both men have some brutal kicks in their repertoire. And the feeling out process is almost unlike any feeling out process you would ever see, because it has been very physical and very hard hitting for two fan favorites, so to speak.
And it looks like Kirby's had enough. He's taking the bandana off, alternately one of the fans in the front row here. Now offers it to Kazi and tosses it away. I mean, what is that supposed to mean?
But you can see the serious look that just engulfed the face of Crazy K, Kirby Mack. He knows that his AWA World Light Heavyweight title is in serious jeopardy in a matchup against the likes of Kamakazi Kid, who before Crazy K, Kirby Mack ever came along in CWF Mid-Atlantic, the man that was the standard bearer for the light heavyweights, the cruiserweights, the suicidal maneuvers, was none other than the Kamakazi Kid himself.
And you know, his legacy lives on. I mean, now Kazi's back with us and seems to be going full speed. I mean, we're seeing the same suicidal attitude we saw before. Now he's back full time. You got to keep in mind his protege, Ultra Dragon, the current Rising Generation League champion. Same mold. These two men are made from the same mold.
You know, a lot of people really think Kamakazi Kid could have possibly won the AWA World Light Heavyweight title back on the night Crazy K, Kirby Mack won it. However, at that time, Kamakazi Kid had been on the shelf for several months from a matchup with Ultra Dragon some 7 months earlier. Kamakazi Kid did not wrestle in a match between the Dragon match and the AWA World Light Heavyweight title tournament. When he wrestled Crazy K, Kirby Mack in that opening round. Kazi had a lot of ring rust, and he still pushed Kirby Mack to his limits.
Yeah, and I tell you, Kazi really showed he had a lot of heart in that, and the fans were delighted. I don't think anyone knew that he would be back, and wasn't he one of the ones actually introduced as a wild card by the AWA?
He exactly was, and a very deserving wild card at that. And now, 1 year later, now back on a full-time basis, you gotta think, Kamakazi Kid is gonna be far more prepared for this matchup than he was the last time these two squared off.
And we just saw that beautiful elbow straight to the side of the head. Crazy K out to the floor now. You know, Kazi's taking his time, and now he's going to make his way over the ropes now that Kirby's back on his feet.
Oh, Kirby very smartly saw Kazi coming, but Kazi landed on his feet. Here comes Kirby. No one home for the missile drop kick. Kamakazi Kid now up on the apron and smacks the chest of Crazy K, Kirby Mack.
Mack is back down on the concrete floor, and that is concrete here at the Carolina Sports Arena. Fans had enough to see something was going on, cleared out of the way. A few empty seats here, and now it looks like Kazi's going to make use of them here.
Kamakazi Kid depositing Crazy K, Kirby Mack on the front row ringside at the CSA, and Kazi flies leg drops, and my God, did you hear the smack of Kazi's back against the concrete?
I do not know what goes through a man's mind to make him put himself in that situation. Kazi does it again and again, and I'll be darned if he isn't back on his feet.
Crazy K, Kirby Mack may have just had some form of damage done to his chest as he was hurrying out of there, trying to get a breather, and Kazi stayed around on top of him, but Kazi almost hurt himself as much as he did the champ.
And I tell you what, there's no backing down in Kazi right now. Kirby Mack trying his best to get away and catch his breath. You know, he may be injured in the ribs at this point. Looks like he's having a problem breathing.
Crazy K, Kirby Mack's 1 year run of AWA World Light Heavyweight Champion is in serious jeopardy. I mean, it's been an amazing run regardless. I mean, how many champions do you see go a full calendar year as champion? But here tonight in the CSA, as Kamakazi Kid makes the first cover.
My goodness, almost a 3-count. Referee Charles Richardson's hand was going down when Mack was able to kick out of that one. Kazi having a little bit of difficulty putting the man away. I mean, it looked like he had him injured, but every moment this last is to Kirby Mack's advantage.
That leg drop really took a lot of starch out of the champion. Now Kazi hangs on to the suplex. Kirby smacks his way out of it.
And I'll tell you, that wasn't a desperation move, but it was quite innovative. But Mack is still on the canvas, telling the referee he doesn't want to quit, but you know he looks to be injured.
Well, he hasn't been able to catch his breath since Kazi dove on him on the outside of the ring. Kazi is back, full vertical base, and Crazy K, Kirby Mack can do nothing but lay on the mat and clutch at his stomach, at his chest, and now Kamakazi Kid sees it, drives the knee, and now the neckbreaker drop.
He's going to be clutching his whole entire upper body, and look at this, Kazi's got to cover 1, 2. Crazy K able to kick out with a little bit of authority there, but we know he's hurting.
He's got a heart of a champion, that's for sure, but he's not going to have a championship belt if this match goes too much longer, and he can't somehow make a comeback on Kazi.
And Kazi, you know, we keep talking about the suicidal moves. Right now, he's wrestling a pretty smart match. He's keeping it in the ring. He knows the only way he can win this title is inside the ring.
Boy, his forearms are awfully close to closed fists, too, which is completely unlike Kazi. You know he wants this when it drives the knees right into the sternum. Crazy K, Kirby Mack collapsing in the corner.
He looks like a rag doll in the corner. Kazi needs to take advantage of the situation. He comes in, get both of his legs, and looks like Kirby's going to try to hold on to the top rope, onto his feet.
Somehow, some way, Crazy K, Kirby Mack lands on his feet right into the super kick of Kazi.
Oh my goodness, he went from on his feet to horizontal once again. I tell you, this is one that legends are made of. Both these men right now have showed us stuff we've never seen before. Look at this.
Kirby crashes to the concrete yet again. Kazi has him in the palm of his hand. The champion is a crumbled heap here at the floor of the CSA. And Kazi, you can almost see the wheels turning. What is going to be his next maneuver to try and take the AWA Worldwide Heavyweight title home?
And you see it happening right now in the Carolina Sports Arena. Kazi ascends to the top turnbuckle. Kirby Mack on the floor, and he flies
all the way, several feet above the top rope, crashing down on the champion. Now both men sprawled out on the floor one more time here at the CSA.
Yeah, once again, the concrete floor of the Carolina Sports Arena. Referee Charles Richardson counting both men out, but look at this, Kazi is back up.
Kazi just keeps coming and coming. Incredible offensive onslaught. Trying to vie for the AWA World Light Heavyweight title.
And the fans, you know, they're appreciative of him. I mean, they're giving these two guys room to move, room to get up, but Kazi is having to physically lift Crazy K. He's still holding his midsection.
It has been more than 1 year since Crazy K, Kirby Mack, put the shoulders to the canvas of the Prince of Punk himself, Shannon Moore, right here in this very ring, in this very building. And now Kazi makes the cover, could be slipping away, but Crazy K, Kirby Mack still alive.
And Mack keeps coming back. I don't know where it's coming from right now. We have seen for the past several minutes, Crazy K is hurting. He's having a very difficult time breathing, and Kazi's basically just having his way with him.
Sledgehammer-like blow straight to the side of the head. Kamakazi Kid certainly not known for punching, and those upper forearms are certainly very, very close to that, as he now has Kirby Mack perched high on the top rope, and Kazi going up, could be going for a superplex here, but no, Kirby Mack fighting his way out of it.
Kirby Mack smartly fighting his way out. Kazi runs in and eats boot.
Straight into the boot of Kirby Mack, who had it scouting. No one home. Kazi straddles the middle turnbuckle.
Oh my goodness.
Series of European uppercuts by Crazy K, Kirby Mack.
Mack still holding his midsection up to the top rope. What in the world?
Double stomp all the way to the mat.
That could break, that could destroy, shatter the rib cage and sternum of Kamakazi Kid. What a devastating move. Now he pulls him up off the ropes, rolls him up.
Crazy
grabs the rope.
Crazy K, Kirby Mack very smartly hooked both legs because they were so close to the ropes, but Kazi still had that free arm to grab the bottom rope and save his chances in this championship clash.
Kazi back on his feet with a little help of Crazy K. I mean, it was just moments ago, this was the other way around. Crazy K rushes in, nails Kazi. Kazi down to his knees.
Incredibly, Crazy K, Kirby Mack has survived everything the Kamakazi Kid has thrown at him, and now is dishing out some of his own.
Whoa, a drop kick from the floor up to the apron.
Is attacked the head and neck of Kamakazi Kid big time in the last 120 seconds or so, and now Kirby Mack trying to drag Kazi back, trying to now hook in the arms, going for another cover. Well, Kazi wasn't grabbing the bottom rope that time, but he was still able to kick out.
Looks like Kazi's holding the head. He's feeling the effects of this. Both men got to be winded. Both men have taken a lot out of each other at this point, and Crazy K looks to be the one that's back to his feet first, still clutching the midsection.
This match has taken a lot out of both men, and now Kazi trying to struggle, hang on to the top rope, not allowing Kirby to get this maneuver off, whether it was going to be a German or something else. And now Kazi, springboard, Shining Wizard, straight to the face.
Crazy K, Kirby Mack flat on his back, arm spread eagle on the middle of the AWA logo in the center of the ring. Kamakazi rolling over, clutching the head again. I'm not sure he knows where he's at now.
Crazy K out in two.
Kazi's wailing away on the head of the champion. I don't know where he's coming back with this from, but it looks like both men back on their feet. Oh, goodness.
Power of Grayskull by Crazy K, Kirby Mack, Kamakazi Kid, down again.
Oh, my goodness. Crazy K going for the cover, still near the ropes. 1, 2, hand over the rope again. This match continues.
Boy, the rope has been Kazi's best friend, but even when he can't reach the rope, he's still surviving as both men have just about thrown everything except for the kitchen sink and can't put the other man's shoulders down.
And here we go, the champion signaling he's going to the top rope. He's got a repertoire from the top rope. Let's see what he's able to pull out at this point. He's still favoring his midsection a great deal.
It's taken him an awful long time to get up there, though. But Kirby's perched, moonsaults, no one in the pool.
Oh my goodness, beautiful move, but Kamakazi saw it coming, crawled out of the way, and you know Kazi, he's not going to be one up. Looks like he's going to the top himself.
How many maneuvers has he hit over the years? We've seen him try that 630 that left him unconscious, middle of the ring. Kazi up one more time, sky twister press, no one home.
Oh my goodness. Kirby Mack able to get out of the way of Kamakazi Kid. Both men sprawled in the ring again. Referee's going to have to count both men.
Both men have tried everything in their power, throw some of the most high-risk maneuvers in their repertoire at the other, and this match still continues with no end anywhere in sight.
That's right, Kamakazi Kid still clutching the head. And look at Crazy K, your champion, still clutching his midsection. These two men have beat each other to death.
But you gotta think, if either man could just hit one big-time maneuver, this match could be over in a matter of 3 seconds, but neither man seems to be able to be at the position to do that.
And look at this, Kazi blocking the shots, Crazy K ducking under.
He tried to matrix for a second time, but Kazi drops the elbow, and only a 2 count.
Yeah, Kamakazi Kid rolls back, getting to his feet, looks less for the wear than Crazy K does. He's going to pull Crazy K up with a handful of hair, another uncharacteristic maneuver, and what's he setting him up for now?
Oh, he's setting him up for the Picasso driver. Kazi's won him before, but no, Kirby slips out all the way around. Has it? No! Kazi out in 2 yet again.
Look at this, Kazi still clutching at the head area. I think both men, I don't know how either man is still going at this point. And now here we go, going to start taking the wind and the consciousness away from Kamakazi Kid.
Kazi's tried to block it with all the momentum though. There was no stopping the feet of Crazy K. Kirby Mack and now trying to pull him out one more time away from the ropes. Here's yet another count.
Kazi kicks out with authority. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know how he's breathing either. Both these men are beating each other to a pulp. I mean, this is brutal what we're seeing in the ring.
But for a good 15 minutes at least, these two have been going non-stop at a breakneck pace.
And you gotta wonder, I mean, if Kirby can pull this one out, what happens when the next time he goes to defend the title?
Kazi ducked the overdose and delivered a leg lariat of his own. Kazi trying to struggle over, make the cover, hooks it deep. Here's the count. Kirby out again.
Kirby again resourceful, able to kick out of that one. I don't know where he's getting it from. Kamakazi complaining a little to the referee about the speed of the count.
What in the world can these two hit one another with that's not going to end it? Kamakazi Kid one more time trying to ascend to the top rope.
And he's having his time. He's taking his time, but you notice this time he's sort of, at least we think he's looking in the right direction. But Crazy K back to his feet and he's taking advantage of the situation.
Boy, both men are just too winded to try to take the chance of going to the top rope because neither man can actually get up there and hit something from that point.
And look, Crazy K back up to his feet, going back up the ropes, but he's still favoring the midsection. Got to wonder if maybe he doesn't have a cracked rib in this match.
And yet again, Kazi meets him, drop kick right to the middle of the sternum.
And tell you what, he may have a cracked rib for sure after a shot like that. Now a shot to the head for good measure, and Kazi's measuring him, trying to figure out where to go with him next.
Kazi has him perched absolutely perfect for something, but God only knows what it'll be, knowing Kamakazi Kid. Kazi trying to fight away, but Kirby now firing some shots back on Kazi.
Look at this. I don't know who's in control here. Both men appear to be holding each other up.
Both men jockeying for position. Kazi may have it. Kazi! I thought Kazi was almost trying to hook up for a Picasso driver off of there. But no, Kirby has the mask, the head of Kazi. Overdose off the top rope!
You saw it here first. Kirby Mack goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3.
Crazy K, Kirby Mack, courtesy of the overdose off the top rope, has pinned the Kamakazi Kid in a defining match of his AWA World Light Heavyweight Championship reign.
And you got to wonder if they will be taking both of these men out of here on stretchers tonight. Both men still down, both men injured. This has been a classic.
And still your AWA World Light Heavyweight Champion, Crazy K Kirby Mack.
Tonight we're taking out the garage. Hey, get that team the ring. We're the team that's taking out the garage.
two Mid-Atlantic legends locking up against two wannabe Mid-Atlantic legend killers.
That's right, the street sweepers, Jason Gregory Versetti, are filling the business end of NWA former legends Rocky and Don Cornodle. Rocky tagged in now, both men in the ring.
Rocky Cornodle, the original Rock as they call. Apologies go out to Don Morocco and Dwayne Johnson as Jay Sin is getting his arm twisted and hammered down by Rocky.
And one of the sharpest blows in the entire business is when these Cornodle boys, and they back you into the corner and start chopping away, you can see skin flailing in every direction.
Well, right now, here in the early going, the Cornodles have the street sweepers perfectly in hand. Of course, it was Sheik Cornelius J. Lumpkin III that wanted this match. Oh, and Jay Sin very smartly saw it coming, stopped short, and now in Rocky Cornodle, big splash by Jay Sin trying to get over, make the tag to Gregory Versetti.
Yeah, he finally gets into his own corner, but Rocky Cornodle is not backing down. He's fighting away. Don makes his way in. We got all four men in the ring.
Former NWA World Tag Team Champion, along with Sergeant Slaughter, is Don Cornodle, and right now he's got a handful of Gregory Versetti's hair. And look at this, Sheik Lumpkin behind the referee's back, got a cheap shot in on Rocky Cornodle.
Yeah, Sheik Lumpkin, you got to keep your eye on him. He's capable of doing all kind of damage, but street sweepers back out on the floor. Jay Sin's rolling Rocky Cornodle, who I believe is still the legal man, back into the ring, but the damage has been done. Versetti unloads on him.
Now, Sheik Lumpkin got embarrassed last November in Bear Creek, North Carolina, and tonight he enlisted the aid of the street sweepers to help him get revenge on the tag team of Don and Rocky Cornodle.
Rocky Cornodle goes for a ride. The street sweepers able to put him back on his back, and I hear these guys sweep together.
They are sweeping together, and they're sweeping together right on top of Rocky Cornodle.
Cornodle having nothing to do with that. He's able to kick out before the 2 count, but a headbutt by Jay Sin, and he's got the Rock backing up here.
I tell you one thing, the street sweepers did not back down from the legend of their Cornodles. They're taking it straight to them, and that shows an awful lot of character on their part.
So the whole thing with Sheik Lumpkin has to do with the fact that we refer to Don Cornodle as the pride of the USA. Is that why he's got a thing and, just won't take his beating and go away with it?
Well, anyone that proudly carries the American flag, such as Rob McBride, Tank Lawson, the Cornodles, whoever that may be, that's who Sheik Lumpkin has a grudge with, and that's who Sheik Lumpkin wants to eliminate, eradicate from Mid-Atlantic rings.
And right now, he's made a mark for himself. So far, he's made a mark for himself with his investors over in the Middle East because he's not delivered a championship yet.
The street sweepers, though, looking to possibly score the biggest win in the career of Sheik Lumpkin, and now Rocky Cornodle making the tag to Big Brother Don.
And when Don comes in, these guys are going to know they've been hit. Look at this. Cornodle's got hold of both of the street sweepers.
Double noggin knocker, courtesy of the pride of the USA. Don Cornodle shoots Jason in, crushes his partner Gregory Versetti in the corner.
Versetti on Rubber Leg Street, Rocky Cornodle back in. We've got all four men in the ring again.
Don Cornodle with Jason, possibly double back suplex of both members of the street sweepers.
That's right, and Cornodle's having their way with the street sweepers right now. Don looks like they're going to set up something else here. These guys are just having fun now.
Don Cornodle directing traffic in there right now, but Versetti's back on top of Rocky. Look at this. Rocky Cornodle, Don Cornodle, double reversal. Oh, the street sweepers, double clothesline.
Street sweepers are both down. Don and Rocky Cornodle both in the ring, just tearing these guys. Oh, look at this double pin.
Don and Rocky Cornodle following the double lariat, a pinfall win over the street sweepers.
Look at this, Sheik Lumpkin. He's not happy about this, but he's in the ring with Don Cornodle.
He's about to pull his hair out because he just saw another win go by the wayside, courtesy of the Cornodles and Dave's Discount Furniture.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner's fight, pinfall, 12 minutes, 9 seconds.
Big backdrop by the Cornodles of Sheik Cornelius J. Lumpkin III. The street sweepers can do absolutely nothing but stand by and watch as Lumpkin is getting beaten from pillar to post by Don and Rocky Cornodle.
Sheik Lumpkin is probably going to wish he was on a private jet on his way across the Middle East at this point right now, because they're beating him to pieces. And look at this, into the sleeper lock. This could be night-night time for the Sheik.
On the night of the Weaver Cup, Don Kernodle has Sheik Lumpkin locked in a Weaver lock. How appropriate. Lumpkin is going to sleep. His tag team has already been defeated, and this one is fully successful. And remember, Dave's Discount Furniture is at 2137 North Church Street in Burlington, 336-227-4880. Well, after a long, grueling summer of matches, and now with Mid-Atlantic legends, Donnie Kernodle and Johnny Weaver himself in attendance, the Johnny Weaver Cup Finals boil down to how appropriate two of the greatest pure wrestlers in the Mid-Atlantic today. It's the old age story of teacher versus student, as Gemini Kid, a 20-plus year veteran, is wrestling maybe his biggest match ever against none other than his student, El Fuego, Jesse Ortega.
Yeah, but you can't sell the student short to the teacher. The student is also the defending Weaver Cup champion, winning the tournament in 2005. This could be one of the most entertaining scientific matches you will ever see anywhere, so don't go anywhere.
It's actually the very first singles match ever. Of course, they've had a lot of sparring sessions, training sessions between one another, but as far as live, actual wrestling matches, when there was something on the line and you had to win, we have never seen these two men mentally or physically have to prepare for one another.
Yeah, talk about something on the line. These two guys are grappling right now for the Weaver Cup. This is the third annual. This is the final of a summer-long tournament. It has been nothing short of spectacular like the previous two, and we're looking for fireworks in this match, even though these guys are basically friends.
And let's not forget, both of these guys have already had to wrestle a match tonight. Gemini Kid was victorious in a very grueling match against a very handsome man, Mitch Connor, by the King Cobra submission. Now that match went some 15 minutes anyway. Jesse Ortega's match was a little shorter, but certainly just as hard hitting, in about 10 minutes or so against Joey Sylvia.
And you know how this is going to go. I mean, both men coming into the match knowing what they're fighting for. I mean, it's all about the cup. Having Johnny Weaver stand out here beside you, present you the trophy. Ortega's tasted it before, but I mean, what are they willing to do? I mean, we're seeing wrestling. I mean, neither man's lost their temper at this point. I mean, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of catches, can, I suspect. As Gemini Kid has Jesse Ortega back into the ropes. Of course, we'll get a, well, I was going to say, I thought we'd get a clean break there, but Gemini taking advantage, twisting the arm of Ortega, got a little bit of lucha libre type action going. Two pros at that, and Ortega with the arm, and Gemini Kid goes right to the floor, and he can only probably almost look up and almost kind of laugh at his student getting the upper hand on him.
Well, you know, I'm sure that for Gemini Kid, the 20-plus years he's had in the business, what that does is this gives him an idea of a different way to attack or you know, how not to attack Ortega. Now, we're still seeing signs of friendship. Nobody's mad. I mean, this is a great thing.
Yeah, it's almost a no-lose situation for us here as fans because, you know, regardless of the winner, it's going to be a great representative for the Weaver Cup.
Yeah, as Ortega was in the past year. I mean, anywhere he was asked to show up, I mean, he was showing up everywhere across the Mid-Atlantic. Right now, he's showing up all the way around the entire body. And look at this, going for the arm.
Jesse Ortega was going to work on the arm there, the Fujiwara, and Gemini Kid got that bottom rope with his foot and backing away. Gemini Kid's actually backtracked more than I would say he normally would. I'm sure he's just looking for his opening, jockeying for position against El Fuego at this point.
Well, right now, he's probably trying to figure out exactly how much El Fuego's willing to lay on the line against him. And right now, here we go back for the Fujiwara.
Certainly going for the Fujiwara again. Jesse Ortega not wasting any time in this one, but Gemini Kid is such a smart wrestler. He can reverse almost out of everything and hook the opposite arm. And now look at this. Twisting away on the arm and the neck. Oh, Ortega though reverses, rolls through, catches the leg, and right back to the arm goes Ortega.
He's trying to get the arm, Jesse Ortega attacking the arm, and Gemini Kid trying to roll away, put the arm under him. But Ortega's got the arm again.
He's not able to get his full body weight and really pry back on the Fujiwara, but it's certainly sending a very strong message to Gemini Kid, and Gemini Kid going to the floor again.
Well, that's a smart veteran move. I mean, he knows he's got the count here. The referee's going to keep the count going as long as Ortega remains in the ring, and I don't think at this point Ortega would try to come out of the ring after him.
No, I don't expect this match to go to the floor at all, but I did see almost a look of frustration on the face of Ortega from Gemini. Rather than staying in the ring and trying to reverse it like you customarily would expect from Gemini going to the floor and using the ropes to break it, which...
It is quite uncharacteristic of him, but he may be trying to get, this may be a psychological ploy against his student. Ortega's known for his temper. He may be trying to get him to lose his temper.
As frustrating as Ortega looked when Gemini went to the floor, Gemini looks almost as frustrated not being able to really get one up on a student.
And right now it has been pretty even to this point. We've seen a lot of scientific wrestling. Notice we said scientific wrestling. You may not see that on some of the entertainment programs that are aired across the country these days. So welcome to CWF Mid-Atlantic, and we're bringing the eyes of the world back to the Mid-Atlantic. This is why.
Well, now I don't understand this at all, Randolph. Gemini just went to the floor again. Ortega didn't have him locked in anything that time. He didn't have him locked in any form of submission. Now Gemini Kid looking down at the Weaver Cup that awaits the victor of this contest.
And this is totally uncharacteristic. You got to wonder what's going through the mind of Gemini Kid. He's down here staring at the cup. He makes his way back in the ring. Jesse Ortega waiting. He grabs hold of the arm first thing. I mean, we know what we're trying to set him up for.
Gemini looks very upset, fighting towards the ropes and scurrying to the ropes. I've watched probably 100 Gemini Kid matches in my lifetime, and I never seen him out-wrestled by anyone ever. And it's almost like Gemini Kid is getting mad at the fact that so far at this point, Ortega's out-wrestling him.
Yeah, but look at this. Everything Gemini tries, Ortega pretty much has been able to reverse it, even though there's a counter-reversal. Now, Gemini with the upper hand gets backed into the ropes again. I mean, Ortega's finding a way out of almost everything Gemini can throw at him.
The referee now physically having to separate both Ortega and Gemini. Gemini a little shove to the official there.
Here we go, back to the arm, back to the Fujiwara, but Gemini Kid drapes himself across the ropes.
Well, honestly, Randolph, I've never seen Gemini Kid make this blatant use of a ropes during a contest. Yes, maybe occasionally you will use the ropes to break it, but I mean, Ortega's barely getting anything, and Gemini Kid is shooting straight to the rope to save himself.
Yeah, Gemini Kid is now wrestling this part of the match right here around the ropes. I mean, it's almost as if he's terrified of being in the center of the ring with Ortega. I mean, he's got him locked up down here on the canvas, but we're in the corner. We're right here at the ropes. How convenient.
Well, Ortega wasn't going to the ropes, though, to free himself. Ortega simply reversed his way out of it. And I'm almost starting to wonder, did the teacher teach the student a little too well?
Well, maybe the student learned more of what the teacher taught than any other student has retained.
Gemini Kid, once again, back to the ropes and pulling himself free from the clutches of Jesse Ortega. Ortega was going to break it anyway. Gemini Kid didn't have to hang on to that bottom rope like it was a lifeline.
Well, I tell you, I don't know what to think. Gemini Kid goes right back in. The aggressor, he's shoving the chin of Ortega up, got him in here, got his head set up on him, and now the referee calls for the break. And look at the look on Ortega's face.
In the semifinal round, Gemini Kid flat out wrestled Mitch Connor. Mitch Connor, an incredible wrestler. Gemini Kid out wrestled him, won the match. Gemini Kid, trying the same tactics here, is having such little success against Ortega, it's almost like it's eating away at him. It's driving him crazy that he can't actually out-wrestle his student.
And I tell you, Gemini Kid got both hands up, offers the shake a hand again. Ortega takes it. I mean, you got to wonder what's going through the minds of both of these men. This is quite uncharacteristic for Gemini Kid. Beautiful stretch.
I mean, I personally have been lucky to be there for some of their sparring sessions and training, and I've never seen Gemini Kid, it's a kind of catch-as-catch-can, back and forth, but more often than not, Gemini Kid is the one that ends up on top in those contests.
And here we go, another break caused by the ropes when Jesse goes for a Fujiwara. Gemini Kid back out to the floor holding that arm again, but I mean, I'm telling you, he's wrestling right at the rings. This match has, since the midpoint, has stayed with Gemini Kid at the ring ropes, always within hand's grasp.
Well, Ortega has employed that Fujiwara a good half a dozen to probably 10 times or so far in this contest, and each and every time he does, Gemini Kid goes straight to the ropes and breaks any form of momentum that Ortega's built up.
Yeah, that is exactly what he's doing. Every time he goes out to the floor, it's breaking the concentration and the momentum. Look at this, Ortega up and over the top rope, but he didn't go to the floor.
Gemini just sailed straight into the side of the head of Ortega with a knee. Almost like a shining wizard through the ropes, but no one home the second time.
Uh-oh. Look at this, Ortega up and over, drops across Gemini Kid. Kid down in the corner. Ortega goes for the cover, but the referee's not going to allow it.
Well, I can't really blame Gemini Kid for that one, because of course he was going to be in the ropes when the cover was made, but I question him going straight back to the outside. I mean, that was the first high-impact maneuver that either man has even hit in this contest, and as soon as it happens, Gemini's back on the outside of the ring.
Yeah, Gemini staggers back to his feet, holding himself up on the ring apron. I mean, this is becoming the most questionable match I have ever seen Gemini Kid involved in. I mean, is he sick? Is he injured? What's going on?
You know, I almost want to say that maybe that match with Mitch Connor took a little too much out of him, but now Ortega going to the outside with the Lucha Roll, grabbing the arm on Gemini, who sells into some ringsiders here at the CSA.
Oh my goodness, kids, don't try this at home. Ortega fired up, got their fans behind him, and they're all asking the same questions we are. What is going on in the head of Gemini Kid right now? This has been most uncharacteristic of him. Now this thing has gone to the concrete, which we said earlier would never happen.
Well, what a forearm blast by Ortega. Ortega, I think, has gotten fed up with Gemini going to the outside of the ring. In any other case, I'd say this is almost disrespectful to your trainer, but who can blame Jesse Ortega under these conditions with what's at stake?
Well, Jesse's just giving back what's been fed to him. I thought he was going to grab the chair, and he was just moving the chair out of the way. But the people on the bleachers got the right idea of getting out of the way. Now here we go, they're going back towards the ring. And Gemini just about out on his feet, climbing back into the ring as a refuge from Ortega.
I have so much respect for Gemini Kid, I don't want to say he's running, but it seems like wherever Ortega goes, Gemini Kid is headed in the opposite direction.
Well, I don't want to say it's running either, but if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Gemini Kid very smartly had that scouted from Ortega as he came in, and now Gemini Kid going to work on the leg and ankle of Ortega. We've seen Gemini Kid employ the STF submission many times over the years, and you got to think that's exactly what he's trying to work on here.
Yeah, he's definitely stretching the hamstrings in the wrong direction of Ortega. Ortega in a world of hurt, having difficulty fighting his way back. He can't get hold of anything, a part of Gemini or the ropes.
Really, for the first time in this contest, Gemini has Ortega in a precarious position, and Gemini Kid looks shocked by the reaction of these fans.
I tell you, I'm kind of shocked by the reaction too, but I mean, from what we've seen so far tonight in this finals match for the Weaver Cup, I mean, I'm a little more than perplexed here.
Well, who can blame Jesse Ortega? Who can blame the fans for almost cheering for Ortega, because Ortega's taking the fight right to Gemini? That's what these fans want to see. They don't want to see someone that's headed in the opposite direction.
Right now, Jesse Ortega, look at this, a handful of referee for Gemini Kid because he can't reach the ropes as Ortega's locking his legs up, attacking a different area.
Gemini Kid rolling around to his stomach, and now Ortega going for Gemini's SDF.
Oh my goodness, now he is close to the ropes. Gemini's able to reach out, grab the ropes. Referee calls for the break. Ortega's going back for the Fujiwara.
Going right back to the Fujiwara, but once again, how many times has Gemini Kid used the bottom rope to break something up, whether it be a pinfall or a submission?
Look, was that a closed fist to the chops there by Gemini Kid?
I just... A lot of what I'm seeing, I almost don't want to believe I'm seeing it, because that's not the Gemini Kid that we've grown to know and love over the past few years. I mean, yes, right now he is wrestling, but he's done a lot of things in this contest that certainly I wouldn't necessarily consider wrestling.
Yeah, quite questionable to say the least. Right now, Ortega fighting back, a shot right to the face of Gemini Kid. Ortega back to his feet, and he is mad.
What a forearm by Ortega, the glazed over look in his teacher's eyes.
And I tell you what, right now, Gemini Kid probably has no clue where he's at. Ortega up and over a second time.
Series of leapfrogs. Gemini Kid runs right to the chop. Ortega lateral press, not hooking the leg though. And Gemini, without the use of the ropes, finally kicks out.
So this is the first time we've had Gemini in the middle of the ring. Look at this, going for the Fujiwara, back to the ropes.
What? Ortega can't get that Fujiwara on for more than probably a second and a half at a time.
Yeah, if he could work it up to a 4 and 5 second count there, he might do enough damage to make Gemini quit, but Gemini's got the ropes again.
For Ortega is determined to get that Fujiwara on, and Gemini just used the ropes, and I don't know if that was intentional or not, but he just used the ropes and the leverage they gave him to take Ortega down.
He doesn't seem to be considering breaking this, even though the fans are on. Look at the fans are on Gemini Kid. I've never seen this look in his face in a ring before.
The fans are clearly behind Ortega at this point, and I think that's startling Gemini as much as anything else is.
Gemini Kid still twisting away on the ankle. It looks like he's going for a full figure 4 leg lock here, and Ortega's going to have to struggle with the ropes.
Yeah, Ortega's going to have to use the ropes to break this because the figure 4 is one of the most vicious submission moves in the entire history of professional wrestling, and very few men can apply the figure 4 like the Gemini Kid. But Ortega, without the ropes, rolls all the way through, reversing the pressure onto the knees of the Gemini Kid.
Yeah, Gemini Kid may have taught Ortega exactly how to reverse that well. He was paying attention that day because he just reversed it on his teacher.
Like I said, without the use of the ropes, every submission Ortega's gotten on, Gemini has gone straight to the ropes, and look at this, even with the reverse figure 4, Gemini was still scurrying to the bottom rope.
I don't understand it. I mean, I've got to think, he's got to be sick, something's got to be wrong. This is not the Gemini Kid that I've watched since I've come to CWF Mid-Atlantic.
Ortega almost looking down at Gemini like, this isn't the man that trained me. The man that trained me would wrestle without ropes.
Right now, I bet Gemini wishes the ropes weren't in there, but oh goodness.
Big spinal tap by Ortega across his trainer, the man that taught him everything he knows, and look at this!
He's trying to take him apart. He's trying to take the arm off. Got him locked in the Fujiwara, but is he still too close to the rope?
Well, he's powered down on that Fujiwara, but Ortega trying to wrench the arm back, but Gemini Kid has his body turned just enough so Ortega can't get the pressure on, and once again, the bottom rope comes into play.
Now, we've always talked about how aggressive Jesse Ortega is. He's still showing the respect for his teacher. He had until legally a 4 count to keep that locked on Gemini, but it's every time the referee says break, Ortega just lets up.
Now, Gemini scouted that European uppercut that was coming and snatches Ortega into a headlock center of the ring.
Looks like Gemini Kid trying to take control of this match again. I mean, this thing's going back and forth with no clear. Look at this, trying to soften him up to the Fujiwara, runs him right into the referee.
Yeah, that lucha roll smacked the official. Look at this, PhD Phoenix head driver by Ortega, has the leg hook, but the referee has got a boot straight across the back of the head.
We're up to about a 9 count at this point. Ortega he finally realizes the referee isn't coming. Now he's going to have to try to revive referee Brandon Barber over here.
Well, in the eyes of a lot of people, Jesse Ortega just won a second Weaver Cup, and Joey Sylvia, Ortega's second round opponent, is in the ring, still chained or breast knuckles or something, but regardless, he caught Ortega straight upside the head.
And look at this. Sylvia telling Gemini to get on him, and what's Gemini going to do?
Sylvia is handing the Weaver Cup to the Gemini Kid on a silver platter.
He's not inviting Gemini to join his new dynasty, is he?
No, he just wants Ortega to be humiliated. He wants to cost Ortega the Weaver Cup. He don't care who it's against. And Gemini Kid just smacked Joey Sylvia straight across the face.
Yeah, he just took the lunch home, Joey Sylvia. Even though Sylvia's got the chain, the referee finally back up to his feet. I guess the match continues.
Yeah, you can see that brass knuckles fly across the arena, and now Gemini Kid the same way. He defeated Mitch Connor. He's trying to hook Ortega in to the King Cobra.
Looks like he's about got him locked up. We're still close to the ropes. I'm not so sure Ortega's going to be able to get a hand out of that knot up there. And look at this. Going to roll him over again.
Yeah, Ortega reverses out of the King Cobra, and now Ortega leaping all the way around. Fujiwara by Ortega. He could be winning the second consecutive Weaver Cup right here.
Things looking good for Jesse Ortega. Referee Brandon Barber is down. He's checking to see if if Gemini wants to quit, or at least I think he is, Gemini rolls over back into the ropes.
He rolled into the ropes, and the ropes springboarded him back right into the King Cobra again.
Oh my goodness, referee Brandon Barber's allowing this one to continue, even though both men have been into the ropes over the past few moments. Gemini Kid holding on for all he's worth.
Well, Ortega keeps reversing and reversing and reversing. Gemini Kid still holding on. Gemini Kid reaching back on the King Cobra. Hey, the feet are on the ropes. Gemini Kid using the ropes for leverage.
Oh my goodness, the referee calls for the bell. This one's over.
Jesse Ortega just tapped out, but he tapped out because Gemini Kid had the King Cobra on and used the ropes to apply more pressure.
And this is unreal. He was in the King Cobra several occasions. This match was able to make his way out of it and survive the fight. But I tell you, unseen to the referee, and your 2006 Weaver Cup champion, Gemini Kid.
I never thought this match would end by a use of the bottom rope. Gemini Kid blatantly used the bottom rope. And what in the world is that idiot doing here? Solomon Spades staring at the winner of the Weaver Cup and the man that was just robbed of the second Weaver Cup.
Tell you what, Jesse Ortega still mad. He's demanding answers from Gemini. Gemini, he's just celebrating.
Gemini Kid celebrating a very disputed 2006 Weaver Cup win, but it's only comes to the bottom rope, and Jesse Ortega is incensed at his trainer.
I tell you what, he's got every right to be. Ortega, we've never seen him this fired up in the ring. He is irate. Gemini, I mean, he's not answering any questions. He's just telling him he's beat him.
The man that we know as Gemini Kid would have never, ever used the bottom rope. I can't believe Gemini did something like that. And now Kamakazi Kid trying to restrain his tag team partner, Ortega.
Gemini Kid standing tall. I mean, he's won this. This has lasted all summer. He made his way through it and won 2 matches tonight. As questionable as this final's been, I mean, he's your 2006 Weaver Cup champion.
But how can he accept a trophy? Gemini Kid has prided himself on being one of the great Mid-Atlantic wrestlers in modern day history, and to win the trophy that symbolizes great professional wrestling, he's going to use the bottom rope to do that?
Yeah, and now here he is. He's calling for Johnny Weaver to get up in the ring and present the trophy.
That's what that trophy is all about. You're disrespecting the Mid-Atlantic area. You're disrespecting Johnny Weaver and Zach Royal, the man that trained you. You're totally better than this. Gemini, you want your trophy set out, here it is. But we ain't done yet. Me and you have to talk.
I'm sorry. This is bullcrap.
I don't know what this is, but you're a winner of the tournament. The Gemini Kid.
Hey, this ain't over with. Me and you have to have a talk about this. That's all right. This ain't over, Gemini.
For the 3rd year in a row, it's my pleasure to be here. Good to see all you fans out there. And I know a tournament is one of the hardest things you got to go through because you got to win every rigor, every match, and one loss and you're out. And you have won the trophy.
Thank you, Johnny. Johnny Weaver, it is the greatest pleasure of my life. Right here tonight, I fought 5 hard matches to get here to the finals. And winning the Weaver Cup is my greatest accomplishment in my 20-year career to have this presented to you present this trophy to me by you. Johnny, I can't thank you enough. This is for Johnny Weaver and all you fans. Thank you for your support.
for Johnny Weaver.
Gemini Kid is going to lead the Carolina Sports Arena as the 2006 Weaver Cup champion, but there's an awful lot of questions to be answered in regards to how this one went down.
Yeah, Jesse will take us one on answers, and I mean, Kamakazi Kid getting involved here. You've got to wonder what can happen and what in the world happened to Gemini Kid to make him act the way he has.
Right here at CWF Mid-Atlantic tonight. I can do it any night. I got all the moves. I got all the locks. I can put anybody down. I can tap anybody out in this ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have another announcement to make. I hate to spoil his parade here. Gemini, if you want to go in the back and kind of with your trophy. I don't know what.
I really like to stand here with the fans and celebrate with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, history was made here tonight. The Gemini Kid won the tournament. There was also history made tonight in Florida, just outside of Florida. Ric Converse took on Dustin Rhodes this evening in Florida. I just got off the phone with a very exhausted and somewhat mentally tired Ric Converse and Dustin Rhodes. He's multi-time champion. He was WCW champion. There in the tag team division, he was Intercontinental champion, U.S. champion, yes. The world title always eluded him, and as of tonight, it still does because he fell to Ric Converse.
Richard Cross, I want to congratulate Ric Converse, but tonight is Johnny Weaver night, Johnny Weaver Cup, and Gemini Kid won. Okay, I like the fans. Anybody wants to come in and get my autograph? They can get in the ring, get the autograph of the Gemini Kid, the Johnny Weaver Cup champion. Next week, South Carolina. South Carolina Super Clash for the CWF Mid-Atlantic. Back here on September 9th. Another big TV taking home to see you all then. Congratulations in order for 2006 Johnny Weaver Cup winner, the Gemini Kid. I got